Hey guys, it's Windwolf and welcome back to my channel. Today is a really exciting day because today I'm posting my build for the Back to Basics collab that I was invited to be a part of. I've been posting some cast videos for the collab, but I haven't obviously posted the build, which was the important part of this collab that I've apparently left to the last minute. But for those of you guys who don't know, essentially this collab was put together by Simza, who is a super cool simmer. Definitely go check them out. I've done collabs with them in the past. Very fun to be around. They stream on Twitch and they make some really, really amazing builds. They also do build requests. Definitely go check out Simza. Basically, she put together this collab to remake all of the base game worlds using only the base game. It's essentially a build a save file that she was putting together. However, you could also make sims if you wanted to. So, I chose the Landgraab lot because when I'm doing collabs, I really like to do the best that I can. I like to test my limits. You know, give you guys something that took a lot of effort and really showed as much skill as I could possibly give you. So that's why I chose the Landgraab lot. And in choosing the Landgraab lot, And in choosing the Landgraab lot, I was like, I gotta remake the Landgraabs. Why? Because one, content. I can make cast videos remaking the Landgraabs, which would be super fun, and it was. Definitely go check them out if you haven't. But two, I just felt like they were super iconic in the game, and like some people are really obsessed with Landgraabs. Some of them like playing with them. Some of them just like to use them as like meme content or like to complain about them. So I was like, I can't not have the Landgraabs. Like I need to remake them for you guys. It's for the cause, you know? So I remade them. Which is for the best because to be honest, I kind of hate the Landgraabs. I don't hate them. I don't hate them as the Sims that they are. I hate the way they were done dirty. I dislike the lack of personality. I dislike the stereotypes. Like this whole like I'm a rich person who looks like they've had a huge boob job and like has this clown makeup and like cares about appearances but somehow looks incredibly dumb. Like the makeup is a choice, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you here. I'm all for people having their tastes and their preferences and slay and like do whatever you want, but the makeup is a choice. The outfits are a choice. Everything is not what I would expect from the Landgraabs given who they are. I said it. I said it. They're not good. I'm so sorry to whoever made them, but I hate them. So I wanted to remake them for you guys. I wanted them to have personality, man. They just seemed so 2D. Like, Jeffrey's basically a background character. No one knows who Jeffrey is. Jeffrey's just kind of there. Nancy, it looks like the most shallowest person on Earth, which I know they did on purpose, but like, make her multifaceted, you know? She doesn't just have to be a like 2D shallow person who only cares about money. Like give her something else to work with, you know? That's such a boring personality to work around with. And Malcolm, he's just a mean snob and he looks like a total dork. Like quite literally, he looks like a dork. And he just looks like he'd be someone who like wouldn't be very popular in school. Like he despite being super rich and in a like very well-known family, he looks like someone you would not want to be around at all. So I just wanted to change them all, and in changing them, I also made their house. So I'm not going to go too far into detail, but essentially what I've done for the Sims is I have made it so that Nancy is a genius. She's still materialistic and a snob, but she is a genius now. She works as a secret. I didn't change any of their like careers. So she has her secret criminal career that she's got going. And she's very into appearances, but she looks a lot nicer. I changed all of her outfits to be a little bit more well put together. Like she looks like someone who's wealthy, is put together. She's a working mom. She looks like a little boss beach, to be honest. So I really like how she turned out. And then Jeffrey, I still had no idea what to do with Jeffrey. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no interest in Jeffrey at all. He just seems like a major background character, which kind of makes sense because he was married into the Landgraabs. Like he's not a Landgraab by blood, so people wouldn't really know who he is until he married into them. So I just made him a little bit fancier so he looked like he was a part of the Landgraab name. And lastly, Malcolm, I've changed a lot actually. I changed him to be a goofball. I made him a goofball and what was the other trait that I gave him? I don't know, but I got rid of. I think maybe I kept goofball snob. I'm not sure. I can't remember at the moment. But essentially, I also changed his aspiration to be. It's still in like that mischief category, but it's not to be like an evil menace. Because I wanted you guys to choose whether he would be evil or not. I feel like he has growing pressure from his parents because his mother, she's obviously not very nice. But she has pressure from like, we are the Landgraabs, and like this is how we're supposed to act, and we're supposed to be this way, and like it's important to care about our appearances and this and that, and money is good. And then on the other hand, you have Jeffrey, who's a secret agent, but he's also like a goofball and like family oriented and a good guy, and so he's but he also has a successful lineage trait. So I feel like he also gives pressure to Malcolm and is like, you need to be successful in this and that. And so, but he's a good guy. So he has a good example, and his mother's kind of a bad example. Like a good and a bad example, but her personality is unfavorable. So Malcolm kind of has to decide whether he wants to turn out like his mother or his father. And you guys have to make that decision. I took away his evil traits. You guys decide what he's going to be like. So that's what happened to Malcolm. So for their house, I didn't like their house that much. I didn't hate it. I think a lot of people despise the Landgraab house. I really liked some of the stuff. They had some really cool roofing. I liked how like geometric it was, and I liked the way it looked, but the interior was terrible, to say the least. The exterior was whatever, and the backyard was atrocious for, you know, a rich family. So we've given them this really big grand house, and I really love how this house turned out. I want to apologize. I did cut out a fair bit of footage. I don't know if you guys can really notice that, but I don't think it's not noticeable because I think I'm so sorry. I keep hitting my mic with my headphones. I don't think it's that noticeable because I think a lot of stuff I did cut out was me going back and forth between floor plans or back and forth between a color scheme. So essentially I kind of wanted this house, at first I wanted it to be very sandstone-y and minimalist. Not minimalist, but like modern, sandy vibes, neutrals, and somehow I ended up with this very colorful theme of yellow and like this kind of teal, green, blue color, and then also orange. I don't know how that became the color scheme. It wasn't intended, and for a while when I was doing this build, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so bad. I wasn't planning on going this direction, but you know, sometimes you just gotta let what happened happen, you know? Like, if this is what was in my mind and coming out, this is what's just gotta be done, you know? And it turned out amazing. Like, you just gotta trust the process. I say this all the time, trust the process. At first, I was extremely skeptical. I almost wanted to not build anymore, but I was like, no, I just gotta trust the process. If this is the color scheme that I'm seeing, I gotta do it, you know? And I feel like the Landgraabs would have this kind of color scheme because it's very, like, it's very dark, very rich colors, something I feel like people of wealth would have in their house. And I kind of feel like this house looks a little bit Art Deco-y. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but it feels very expensive. Like, you've got these dark, rich colors. I've got a lot of geometric shapes going on. There's platforms, a lot of open archways. They've got both a formal dining and a actual living area. And this kitchen is gorgeous, by the way. I absolutely love this kitchen. And the weirdest thing about this house, I didn't mean to say worse. The weirdest thing is this house is like a really strong mix of older, more traditional vintage furniture, I guess, and also very modern furniture. Like, you can see this kitchen is very modern. The cabinets are super modern. This couch is like kind of contemporary suburban-esque, but then you also get a lot of really old traditional furniture that you have in base game. I didn't intend for that to be the case. I just feel like old furniture looks more wealthy, but at the same time, this house was modern. So I was like, what if we just mix the two together and hope it works? And I think it does work. I think it looks really, really good together. Here you'll see a lot of vintage furniture. I started out with these modern couches because, again, I wanted the house to be modern. But the thing I didn't really take into account at the time, like, I knew this was going to be an issue, but I just was like, I'll worry about it later, is that I'm confined to what the base game has. And the base game is very limited in terms of like styles and different themes and all that kind of stuff. So the base game had some modern furniture, but it didn't look like expensive modern furniture. And then it's also like there's not enough furniture, so I really did end up having to mix these sort of more traditional pieces, and I think it looks really good together. You guys are gonna have to let me know that I really can't. I'm gonna apologize. It's 3 a.m. right now as I'm doing this voiceover. So I apologize if I'm messing up my words a little bit. But what was I saying? You guys gotta let me know if it looks too out of place because I can't tell. I think it looks really cool. But one of my friends that I was building with at like 7 a.m. in the morning was like, you know, why do you have this furniture here? Like, it doesn't match. And I was like, yeah, but it's kind of all over the place. Like, I've got some older pieces and some newer pieces. But I feel like it works together in like a weird way. I don't know. You guys are gonna have to tell me. I struggled a little bit with it. I was like, oh, I can't do this, and then I was like, fuck it. I want to trust the process. That was my motto throughout this whole build. Trust the process. So I just trusted my gut, and I was like, you know what? I'm sure it'll look fine. And even if it doesn't, it's my build. The issue I had a lot with this build was I didn't want to do something this out there and colorful because I feel like what I've done is a very acquired taste. And this is for a save file. So I was like, I don't want to make something that's an acquired taste for a save file. And you guys are going to see it and you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, you know? But then I was also like, I'm building this for specific Sims. And I'm building this to show you guys a cool piece of work that I can do for you. And I just felt like I should just do whatever I wanted. I should have just trusted what I was going for and hoped you guys would have liked it. And even if you didn't like it, you guys can appreciate it. And hopefully it'll lean towards you guys making some cool Sims that would work in this house. Because even if you don't like the house, it might give you a good place to put some Sims in and have like a storyline with them. Maybe they're your neighbors or something. So I felt like it would work out in the end, even if it wasn't something you guys would particularly like. I hope you do like it. But again, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a bit of an acquired taste and some of you saw this and were like, this is the most terrible house I've ever seen in my life. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. Do you like the color schemes? Do you think it's too colorful? Do you think that my more traditional furniture with my less traditional furniture is weird? You guys gotta tell me, okay? So yeah, because this was built for the Landgraabs, I did follow through with their jobs, which I'm super excited to show you. I think I might have forgotten to take a screenshot of Nancy's office, so I might have to go in and put that in, but if I forget, I'm really sorry. Again, it's 4 a.m. almost, so I might just forget. But I basically gave both Sims 2 different offices. So Jeffrey has his like basic office downstairs. It's kind of blue themed, and I thought it could be like a conference office room. I have no idea what Jeffrey's fake job is. I assume he's some boring government employee, or maybe he's also in the business, like he works in business or real estate or something, because again, the Landgraabs are super rich and wealthy. So they do own land, and it's implied that they are like some big business moguls, I think. So maybe he's a part of the family business now that he's married to Nancy. I don't know. So he's got his office downstairs, but he also has his secret agent office upstairs in the attic. And that's locked behind a secret bookshelf door, which is upstairs. So he has a secret office for that, and it has like all of his secret agent stuff. It's pretty cool looking. He has like a little storage room, another clothing rack because his secret agent clothes would be on there and stuff like that. And then Nancy has her like turquoisey teal office upstairs as well. It's normal and like completely basic. This one I would expect that like she's doing her conference calls and talking to her investors and checking on her real estate on in that office. But then she has an office in the basement, and that one is hidden in her walk-in closet, which I thought was super cute, by the way. I feel like Nancy would be the kind of person to have stuff hidden in their closet, you know, like skeletons in the closet. And she's got this cool, beautiful walk-in closet with marble floors, and I was like, it'd be so cool if I could have had like a wardrobe door that walks into the basement, or like is like behind the wardrobe or something, but I didn't have the space for it to be on the same level, so I had to put in a basement and put staircases. Not staircases, but a ladder. So it's not ideal, but it gets the point across, you know? And her office is so cool because it has a secret gym. It has like a secret, you know, storage room where she has like her stolen ATMs and things like that. And then on top of that, it has like her little desk and like a seating area. So maybe she brings her fellow criminals to the basement and like has conferences with them. Similar with Jeffrey, because he also has a little conference area, like maybe like sneak their coworkers into their house somehow. I don't know. Anyways, now that I'm done talking about that, this is Malcolm's room. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have told you about that when I was actually showing you, but sometimes I just like to rant. So this is Malcolm's room. I didn't want it to be green, but for some reason I felt like doing a rich color, and green is one of the only colors that looked good in the base game. I kind of wish I'd gone for a blue theme instead, but I do blue builds, or not blue builds, but blue rooms all the time, especially for boys because it's so stereotypical. Then I wanted to pick a different color, so I decided to go with green instead. And I did give him that really flowery wallpaper, which I think is adorable. It just felt right because it's a little bit out of the box for, I think, a masculine sim to have like this leafy room. Green is not out of the box, but I felt like that wallpaper was, so I kind of liked doing that. And he also has some kid knickknacks. He has a dollhouse. I know he can't use it because he's a teenager, but I felt like rich kid would have like this really fancy old dollhouse that's maybe been kept in the family. And so I wanted to be there more as like a decorative piece than a usable piece. So yeah. And then this blue room is the guest room. Yeah, and they have an ensuite. Unfortunately, Malcolm did not get an ensuite. He has like a hall bath, which is technically his. Like it's basically his bathroom, but it's just not attached to his room directly. I wanted it to be an ensuite, but I sort of forgot about that. So when I did the floor plan of his bedroom, I forgot to put a door. And I was like, well, I'm not going to change the whole room just to, appease that one little thought of an ensuite bathroom. So he has a bathroom that's just connected to the hallway. And then this guest room, which is all blue. I absolutely love this guest room. I think these blue colors are so good. For some reason, base game just has the best blue colors. Like, it's the only good colors in the game. You know how, like, Little Sims, he always jokes about having to make blue Suburbans? I see why. I see why. There's just no good colors in the base game, and blue is really, really the only... It's a solid choice. It's simple. It has several different shades that work well, and it's just altogether probably one of the better colors of base game. So I really like that room. This is Jeffrey's fake office that I was talking about. I struggled with it for a little bit because it was kind of ginormous. And then I settled into this like conference room idea. I was like, well, if it's this big, you might as well have like a conference room. So he's got this fancy fireplace. I have fireplaces all over this house. I feel like rich people would have a lot of fireplaces. It doesn't make any sense because they're in the desert, but I mean, I guess it gets cold at night in the desert technically, but it was a bit weird, I know, but I wanted to do it anyways for the, for the vibes. And then we have this like almost like this little secretary area. You guys can decide if he like has an at-home secretary or if he just like does his work there, and then there's the conference room through that. So yeah. I also really like the color of this room. I like the vibes of it a lot. And there's like a fancy little, I think I fit a bar in here as well because I feel like rich people would be like, let's have some liquor as we discuss our fine investments, or something like that. So yeah, that room was really, really good. I will say that doing base game builds are a little bit agonizing. It's like agonizing and fun at the same time because you're like trying new things and you're having to work with what you have. And so sometimes you even have to make custom furniture to kind of do what you want to do or dig into debug. But the worst thing is like you can build something and you'll be like, oh my god, this is the perfect place for this one item. But that item is in a pack and you're like dying inside, like it would have been so good, but you can't use it. It's painful. So yeah, that's the agonizing part about doing base game builds. Plus having to like repeat furniture a lot, especially when you do like a big house like this, is a bit annoying. I've used the same bed for pretty much every room, just different colors, and even in some cases I think I was tempted to pick the same. This is the master or like main bedroom. It's Nancy and Jeffrey's bedroom. It's on the first floor in comparison to Malcolm's, which is on the second. I felt like it kind of makes sense to have parents and kids separated. It's also because this room was actually ginormous and I didn't know what else to use it for. So I was like, we have the extra space. I'd rather put it downstairs than have like a cramped upstairs. So yeah. So they also have like this fancy fireplace area, seating area. They have huge windows which walk out into the patio, which by the way, my backyard is so cool. I can't wait to show that to you guys as well. And then they have their walk-in closet. I tried to make kind of like this fake chessboard decoration. I really wish we did have like a tabletop chess thing that you like place on furniture rather than it being its own piece. Like you could place it on a desk or like on a counter. But unfortunately that doesn't exist. I would even take it if it was just decoration. But I really wish that there was something like that that was functional. This is the walk-in closet that I was telling you guys about. And this will also be where the ladder is like hidden to Nancy's secret office. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to show you guys that. I feel like this is also Jeffrey's closet, but I put more female clothes, I think. Or not female, but like feminine clothes than I did masculine, because I feel like Nancy would have more. I might be wrong about that, but I feel like that's what ended up happening. And they have like this fancy little counter space. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. I keep hitting my mic with my headphones. I don't know why rich people, like I've seen a lot of mansion builds like on YouTube or on Zillow where they'll show like, can I stop saying like? They'll show this really fancy walk-in closet and they have these huge counter spaces and I don't really understand why. Is it just to put clothes there? Is it just for storage under? Like, I don't understand what's the tabletop for. How much tabletop space do you need in a closet? So that's always confused me a little bit. If you guys know the answer to that question, let me know. Is it just for the vibes? I could see it just being for the vibes. Oh, here's Jeffrey's secret office. Oh, I love Jeffrey's secret office. It's kind of small. I do realize that there's a ginormous window looking into it. Okay, I'm well aware. It's not very secret when you can see into it. But we're going to pretend that it's one-way glass. There's no one-way glass in base game. Unfortunately, I think that came with Get to Work. And that was one of the things where I was like, oh, I really wish I could have used it. But I don't have it. So that sucks. But yeah, so he also has like a little desk area and then also a conference area and a storage room area, just because this room was such a weird space. Like it was spacious, but it was separated weirdly. Like it's a weird shape, so it was a bit complicated. And I know it looks kind of bad, but a secret office, you can't be too picky. You know what I mean? Like you get what you get. So yeah, and he goes with this red theme. I don't really know why. Even Nancy's office has a red theme as well. So there's her stolen ATMs and her money bags. Can't forget the money bags. She has a secret little gym area because this specific, what do you call that? Punching bag came with her career. I decided to make a gym. I wasn't going to originally, but because that came with the criminal career, I was like, oh, we'll just add it. So yeah, I do steal some of the secret agent stuff to put in this room just because it looked cool and fit with the vibes. Maybe she stole it from her husband. I don't know. And then this is like their secret conference room. So they have like a little map. I was like, oh, let's put a globe there. Like they're going to be like, this is where our next heist is going to be, and pointed the globe. This very vague continent area. I don't know. I just thought that was a cool idea. I can't put like a map other than the one clutter item. So I decided to do a globe instead. So yeah, and then there's also some really, really expensive art pieces on the wall, which I wanted to show that were like there for her to have stolen. And I put the little bat in the corner. This is where she like takes her bat to beat up people who don't listen to her, you know? Her coworkers, when they mess up, she's like, you didn't do what I said. Smacks them with a bat. I don't know. Don't do that. Violence is wrong. It is, but like, you know, for the vibes. For the criminal vibes. So yeah, I feel like Nancy would be like a total boss, criminal boss, you know what I mean? I could see it. And that's one of the things I really like, because I feel like maybe I'm playing myself into the stereotype, but I felt like they went for like this very like, I'm a rich, dumb person, or like shallow and kind of dumb, but she's a criminal. Like she's got to have brain cells, like a lot of them, to be honest, if she's good at her job. So that's why I gave her the genius trait. Like, I felt like it just elevated her character a little bit more than what she was originally. Now we're working in the backyard, which I really love this place. First of all, I love the stairs that I did here. I despise the fact that you don't have diagonal stairs in this game. It breaks my heart every day when I have to look and realize that I can't put stairs diagonally and I had to do this thing. I mean, in this case, it worked out for the best because it looks super cool. But I don't want to have to do this every single time I make a diagonal piece in my house. I would like to have diagonal stairs. So I really hope that The Sims adds diagonal stairs soon. I'm excited for the fact that they've added all of these different things. Like now we can have multi-stair levels and like have them, how do you say, like rotated, I guess? And we have platforms now, and there's all these things that we didn't used to have that we have. So I really, really want them to add diagonal stairs. I don't understand why that's a complicated thing, but I just want it to be fixed. I can't handle it anymore. I don't do diagonal stuff for that reason in particular. I just don't like dealing with the staircases. And a lot of times when I do diagonal pieces, I want the stairs to be in that room, but I can't have them there because it just doesn't work. So it's a little bit annoying. We gave them this sort of like fake grass look because, again, rich. And two, I just want an open space. I don't really know what you would do over here because they don't have kids. I gave them monkey bars and then realized after the fact that they literally don't have kids. Like, they have Malcolm, but I don't think Malcolm can use the monkey bars. So the monkey bars are just kind of there. Maybe they'll have more kids, or maybe you guys can get them a dog if you have other packs, or I don't know what you're gonna do with that space, but it's there, and it's just grass. I guess that's kind of realistic because in real life, not everyone has like a ton of plants all over the place, filling every piece of their backyard, which is why I like to have yards, because I think yards are realistic and they just make the place look nice and it gives some separation to like a patio space. So yeah, I also really like this hot tub in this color wave. Whatever the stone color wave is, I love it. It's beautiful. It's the best thing ever. So this was probably one of my most favorite patios that I've ever done. I don't really know why. I've never been a big fan of doing backyards. Like, I like doing them, but I'm not gifted at it. So it's kind of a struggle for me to do backyards a lot of the time. But this turned out really nice. I love this little patio, like bar space, grill space, or whatever that they have here. And they've got this beautiful outdoor seating with these really, really nice base game chairs that I'm in love with. So this was like a lot of fun, and I really love how it turned out in the end. I do really like the way the stairs look, so that was pretty fun and cool to do as well. You can see here that I'm struggling. I should have cut this out, but I think I forgot to, and I don't want to mess around with cutting things out now because it's too late. So, we're gonna forget that and just let it be. You guys can watch the chaos ensue. I was struggling with the floor plan at first because I wanted there to be like cabinets for cooking, and then I was like, well, they don't really need cabinets, so we'll put the bar there instead. So yeah, and then we got this little green space where I add like this elephant and this fountain. It kind of looks like the elephant is drinking out of the fountain, which I think is pretty cute. So yeah, I think I'm running out of things to say. Is there anything that I'm like missing? I don't think there is. I think I've given you everything. I'm trying to think. Oh, also for the collab, I will put the playlist of all the builds down below. Asimza has made a playlist of all the videos as they come out. So if you guys want to check out the other creators, which you definitely should, the playlist will be linked in my description box. I'll also have the save file linked if I can. Like, I don't know how she's sharing it, so if I can link the save file, I will whenever it's done. She's waiting for all the other builds to come in. I think I'm one of the last people to submit, though, so hopefully it should be out by the time this video's out, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I also really like how the exterior came out. I was struggling because I showed you this inspo picture. Oh, I didn't even talk about it. But in the beginning of the video, there was like this picture on the left-hand corner, and that was like my inspo picture for the build. Obviously it turned out very different, but I really liked the diagonal features, and I really, really liked the rounded part of the front. So that's kind of what made this build so geometrically interesting, was that inspo picture. But you know, I just think this build looks so cool. But yeah, I think we're hitting screenshots here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye to you all now. As per usual, if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like me, hit the subscribe button, and if you really like me and want to be notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that bell button. I hope you guys are having a great morning, evening, night, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you guys next time.